Everybody, welcome back to T5. It's time. Space September is in the building. Wildcard Podcast. Gee, it is the best time of the year. It truly is Christmas time here in the league. Even though it is late August, it's Christmas time. The best games, the best players, one last chance. Everything's on the line. It truly is Daytona, right? It's truly the last shot. What will happen? What is your expectation? This is going to be a crackdown tournament. We got a lot of big names on the bubble. Got a lot of guys that are looking for a double bye, and we got some guys just staying alive, trying to stay alive in D1. What's your thoughts here?
I mean, you say it's like Daytona. We got Daytona coming up this weekend, so a bit in theme there. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a crazy tournament. We got a lot of action all over the board, whether you're on top of the table or bottom of it. Every game is going to matter here, so it's going to be very exciting for everyone to watch. I don't think there's a single game you want to miss. But yeah, again, we are going to try to go through this not as quick as we can per se. Obviously, you got to give that insight and whatnot, but let's not try to waste any more time here. Let's just get down into the previews here. Let's give the fans what they wanted. They've been kind of waiting for a while for these Tournament 5 previews, so I say we just jump right into it.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Pierre. He made the theme, and his reasoning behind this is this league is out of this world. He wanted to go with the Space September. I think it fits the theme perfectly. I know Survival theme was great, but let's move on to it. Well, Tapir's region, he will be on Bye Island, 3 players on Bye Island. Venus region, we're not going to discuss him, but we know he's had a great season. He'll wait the winner of this match on the Venus region. Satellite 64, Bowtie Ed. Here's the thing, G, in this match, right? New bye. So we have to understand, for the first time ever, I'm going to go unrestricted mode here. I'm not going to use the computer. I'm going to do my own predictions here because this is the only time I can do it. Because this is the CPU has just made some stupid whack predictions, in my opinion. I'm going to go my personal view because we are on a new platform. Bowtie Ed. Neither player has seen this new bot really. They tested a little bit. Bowtie plays a little bit of this rapid style. Edward Ziemba plays more of this light switch style. I think Bowtie's got a lot of momentum. It's a playoff game. I'm going to go Ed, though. I think Ed gets it 4-3. I think Ed Ziemba's had a great season. He's in those 26 through 30 talks. I think he was. Missed out, I believe, in the top 30 barely, or inside by barely a little bit. Give me Ed Ziemba 4-3. I think the light switching wins that. I don't believe the dump and pump ammo style on this new bot's the right way to go. Ed Ziemba 4-3. What you got, G?
I'm actually going to go Ziemba 4-3 also. I mean, this is kind of a similar spot he was last year, last tournament, where he was in this 8-9 matchup in this first region, but unfortunately he's the 9 seed this time. Again, a lot of complications with the seeding here, so went down exactly a singular spot, but I think he will get the job done here. But the problem is he's going to have to go up against Tapir in this round of 32 here if he doesn't win this. So it's going to be a very tough path for him. But we'll see how it goes. I think the new bot's a little bit more fair on the styles here. I think Ziemba's brought something that we haven't seen before, and I think it's been a good style. I say he wins 4-3. I think Bowtie had a great run in the what's it called, the Juggle July, but I think something just does not click here. I think the focus more or less just the next year.
Yeah, that will be a stream playoff game. Cannot wait. This is a non-stream game, this next one, obviously, due to some reasonings with Allen versus Seth Cole. Seth Cole's fighting for his Super League life. Allen's fighting for a relegation spot, right, trying to avoid it. You know, my heart says Allen's going to win this game, G, and I'm going to stick with it. I think Allen pulls off one of the shocking upsets of the season. I think Seth Cole is going to use wild control. It works on this bot, but split ammo is a damn good strategy on this new bot. Give me Allen, 4-3, upset city. He gets that win. He finally got someone he could play instead of just ridiculous first-round opponents. I think this is someone in his wheelhouse. I got Allen in an upset 4-3. He avoids the minor relegation. You still have to win one more, but give me Allen.
I unfortunately do not see this path. I have Seth Cole winning 4-2. I think Seth absolutely needs this. He's going to be very motivated to get the job done. He is 15th coming into this tournament here, so he cannot afford a round 1 exit, and it's going to be a very, very tense situation for him. For Allen, he still has the relegation tournament, try to fight his way out of it and stay in D1, but I just think that for Allen, it's been a tough road this season, but I think Seth's going to be going to have a lot more to play for here, and I think he's going to be able to get a job done here. I have Seth Cole winning 4-2, but I wouldn't count out Allen because I think he could have a chance at the relegation tournament, but we'll see how it all plays out. Again, this is going to be one of those interesting matchups where it's kind of a tale of two sides of the coin here. One side where you're fighting for your Super League life, and then one side where you're fighting for your D1 life, so going to be interesting to see how this one pans out. Definitely one of the ones to watch out for.
Next one, G. This is another relegation versus, we think, Super League battle. We think Chomic's relatively safe, but you never know. I think Ellison gives Chomic a hard time. I think Ellison's been wanting this new bot for a while. Chomic has been an interesting player. He's been kind of taking the summer off. I'm going to go Chomic, but this is going to be a shocker, G. I think Chomic only wins this one 4-3. I don't know if Chomic is just going to be dialed in. He could be sleepwalking in this match, and he could get caught out. The UX and the UI is different with the bolded cards. I'll go Chomic, but this is closer than people think. Give me a 4-3. Not as blowout as you would think this round. I'm going Chomic, but it's barely.
I'm going to say Chomik 4-2 here because you got to remember Ellison is one of these people who needs these wins here, and I think 2-game wins is going to put himself in a good spot here. But I mean, Chomik's really fighting for this bye here. I think he's safe in the Super League, but he wants that bye into the top 6. Right now, he doesn't have it. He's number 8 right now after falling out of it. So going to want a good run here to try to get that. I think this is where it starts. I think Chomik wins this 4-2. Starts that run, tries to get that bye back, and we'll see how it goes for Chomik. But for Ellison, it's going to be a wait and see sort of situation because he's above the cut line right now, but not in the best spot per se for the relegation battle. So we'll have to see where Ellison plays out depending on how the rest of the results go.
This next battle, G, you talked about really must-see games. Well, I'm just going to be blunt here. This is not a must-see game. This is no man's land. This is no man's land. I'm sorry. Non-stream, Carson Retro. We haven't even talked about either player at all. Even in the last episode, we haven't really talked much about them all season. Carson had a good March, right? He beat Caesar. That was his highlight of the season. Retro had a good win against Cody, right? I mean, technically had a forfeit win against Ari, but that doesn't count. Really, well, this was his big win, Fish of the Year. But you know what? This is a very more polished bot, and you would think Carson would win, but man, Retro found something against Gold even and Llamas. I'm going to go Retro 4-2. I'm going with the upset. I think Retro could actually be a shocker in this match. I think Carson, despite his polished style, I don't know if he's had enough reps compared to Retro, who's done 2 or 3 sessions on this thing. Yeah, I'm going Retro over K-Dog 4-2. Big upset there. What do you got?
It's crazy. I actually have the exact same prediction here because I just think something has just not clicked for Carson all season. I think he's a solid player, but something has just not worked all year. Retro kind of just up and down. I think he's kind of more of an upswing right now. So I actually have Retro winning this 4-2 here. Has the upset. Carson's season kind of ends on a whimper. Definitely needs to go back to the drawing board to figure out what he needs to do for next year. But Retro keeps it going here. But for how long, we'll have to see because being 6'11", that means you're going to probably play the 3 seed unless big upset happens here, which we'll see if either of us pick the upset here. But jumping to the next one here, I'll take the lead on this. DJ Curtis versus Logan. Again, Curtis, one of those bubble players trying to fight to stay in, and then Logan, of course, is also on the bubble here, trying to stay in D1. Logan currently 51st on the grid, 9-18. Only 1 game win separates him from staying alive here, and also a bit of a game win percentage. But I think for this one, you kind of just have to look at what both these players are playing for. I think the problem with Logan is a lot of his color switching is not very good. Some ammo control is lacking. I think Curtis just kind of plays with that carefree style. He'll get that ammo. He's like, oh, awesome, more cards, and he'll just kind of roll through it. I expect a lot of comebacks here from Curtis here. Not necessarily like 20-plus card comebacks, but like I think he'll get like +6 a lot. But he'll be able to bring it back because I think Logan's kind of had an issue with closing these games out all season. So I have Curtis winning this one in a relatively convincing 4-2 fashion.
Yep, same exact prediction. DJ Curtis. DJ Curtis is used to this because he played Brock. Brock does dump and pump a lot. He's also had a little bit of a experience with that Ghost. Sometimes Ghost does dump and pump looks, just try to get you off your back. I think Logan will improve. He'll be improved. We'll see where it ends up. I think it'll be at 10 wins, right? If I'm not mistaken. Or is it 11?
If it's 2, that would put him at 11.
11, he'll be on the bubble. He'll be sweating bullets. But I think that might be enough. It'd be close. But DJ needs this more. I agree. I think DJ needs this more. He got to get this win, and he'll have a tough matchup with possibly Retro or Carson there at the next round. So we said Retro. We'll see. DJ Retro. I think DJ gets it 4-2. He's just got a little bit more patience compared to Logan. Gee, this next one is Cracked Out Sit Crikey versus the Mountains, man. This is the only top 25 match, and ALP's done this twice, where his first round was a top 25 battle. It is the true ultimate playoff game. The winner of this game, well, you just got yourself a top 25 win, is a resume heaven type game. It's a deal breaker. I'm going ALP. I know you are too. I want to go my boy Toast so bad, but thing is, ALP loves flexing on those finishes. He does dump and pump. Toaster does dump and pump, but the one difference is Toaster guy gets to Uno and hopes to break. ALP doesn't care. He just throws a +4. Because of that, I think ALP wins 4-3. This will be one of the games of the round. It's streamed. It's going to be absolutely insane. I know you ain't going to attend to it because I'm streaming now, and it's going to be crikey out. With those custom cards, oh my goodness. We're going to have a field day on that one. Entertainment City. What do you got, G?
Unconditional round of 16 for Austin LaPlante. You already know the narrative. I'm going to say 4-3 here because that's what ALP has done all year. So that's all I got to say. Again, unconditional round of 16 for ALP. I'm not going to budge on that until he loses.
All right. So that means I'm in trouble, or Payne and I are in trouble here. But who do you got?
Wait a second. What if I pick Payne? Maybe it could be Payne in trouble. You don't really
All
know.
right. What do you got, G?
Now
Will
listen.
this game happen?
Will this game happen? Yes.
Okay.
All right. So here's what I think happens. Call me crazy. I think this is going to be kind of wild, but I think Payne wins game 1 and then gets reversed up. It gets gentleman swept. I think Casey, I think you got this 4-1. I think Payne's not really had it all year. Really, just Payne kind of just has been in the lower tier for the most part. He's one of those players who's kind of just stuck in that relegation battle. Might be able to find a way to maybe fight out of that, but it's just not been a great year for Payne, all things considered. So I'm just going to lock it at 4-1. It's round of 32, though. That's really going to be the concern here for you. Obviously, you don't skip the round of 64, of course, because obviously the moment you do that, you're going to lose. But I think that's really going to be the concern here as we look at this. Obviously, as long as you've just got head in the game, should be able to get through this round. But I think round 32 is going to be the one where a lot of people are going to have to keep their eyes out on it.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the challenge. Like I said, Payne's an interesting opponent. I'll have no data, right? Yeah, no. That's another thing. You can't study anything, right? There's no studying with this because it's a new platform. So we do remember back in March when it was a new season. That's usually where I cook. So we'll see. We'll see which theory prevails.
Yeah, definitely. And now we flip from you can't predict to I can't predict because jumping into Region 2 here, which is the Mars region, it's oh boy, this is some deja vu. Casey, how about you take this one here?
Well, first you forgot we got to talk about Christian Tago, who will be pissed off that he's on Byron again.
That's true.
Oh boy, yeah, he's gonna be pissed off. And look, at the end of the day, you gotta roll with the punches. Now, Clay G, this was happened last year in T5. I was on the old bot. Look, I have a theory that if I shake your hand, usually I pick with you. The problem is I've shaken both of your hands multiple times. This is a true toss-up game. Clay's a monster in T5. G needs a win with desperation. I don't know. I haven't seen much of either guy test on, dude. This is truly a coin flip. I think the CPU went with Clay. I think Clay finds a way, 4-3, but man, I wouldn't be shocked if G wins this game. This is a true coin toss. If we think the bot is constant algo, where the algorithm is fair, both guys kind of need that. G got hosed multiple times this year. Clay's gotten hosed against Nam. It's a true toss-up game. I'm going to go with Clay. I think the only thing he has over G, and it's not saying much, is just T5 momentum from last year. It's not saying much. He's a monster in this tournament. But at the same time, if G wins this game, I wouldn't be shy. It's probably one of the more equal. It is streamed. It's a no man's land match. I think G is safe from D1. Clay is not directly in the Super League hunt. He's not in the bubble either. It's kind of a no man's land game for both. It's similar to Carson Retro, but a better version. I'll go with Clay. He'll go 2-0 on G overall in his career. What do you think, G? Just your overall thoughts on Clay. Another rematch here.
I mean, if I lose this 4-3, I think that's going to be a great summary of how this season has gone. But that's really my only comments on this. Hopefully, we can make this one. Hopefully, I can make this 1-1 here, and then we need a rubber match at some point down the line. But we'll have to see how it goes.
I might make a bold take though in the next round. I think the winner of that match could be on for something. But let's go to this next one. This guy clearly needs to be on win mode, despite having a great Final Four run in T4 with Lane. And then Brando, we talked about him trying to get a win just to stay alive. Needs to get something cooking. I'm sorry here, but this is Lane Sanders. Give me the first 4-1 I'm going to make a prediction lane 4-1. I just don't. I don't see it. Brando does dump and pump a lot, no ammo control. He did splice it up a little bit, but Lane, if it's in the same lane, G, his ammo control has been fire. It's been on it. It's been split ammo. It's been Chomik-esque. It's been Sanford-esque. He just took care of Charles Sanford in third. I know it doesn't matter for third place game. Got a bronze medal though. That momentum will ride high for round 1. I'm going Lane Sanders for sure in a win 4-1. What do you think, G?
I'm gonna go lane 4-2 here. I mean, I think we talked about this in the prior episode, but I think Brando does have a chance to possibly break through with that win. But I think with the opponent he's been given here, you really don't really know what you're getting from Lane. And unfortunately, I do think Lane's gonna be someone who doesn't do a one and done, and I think he will have another decent run here. I do have Lane doing well here. I think this is a new Lane, so definitely something we've never seen before. I'm gonna say 4-2. Brando's going to have to fight through the relegation tournament, I think, but we'll see how that plays out for him. We'll probably, once we get that set and whatnot, we'll probably make some predictions for that. But again, that'll probably be in 2 episodes, so we're still got a bit for that. But lane 4-2, and that's kind of all I really got to say here. We're jumping into another one where it's another Super League versus relegation battle kind of battle here for this next matchup.
Well, the only difference is, gee, this is going to be an absolute crackhead show. Abion's a guy that does not like talking much. He can say whatever. Radin is a crackhead. Let's face it, this is absolutely going to be an insane match. I think both guys are going to be cracked to the core. I think Abion's going to not even know half the rules half the time with this new bot. Radin's probably going to say something about Freaky Uno. I think it's going to get really freaky. Real freaky right here, G.
Hang on a second. I am going to say one thing here. This is one of those games where I think the game win count on each side is actually going to be very important here, so that might have some influence on the whatever prediction you have, but...
Close to an upset. Give me Radin gets to the game 7, but Abion pulls it off in the end. I think Radin's found something. He has. I know it's a new bot, but for whatever reason, he's found something late in the season. He's taking these guys really good players to 7. It's weird. You start turning a little bit of that mini pack, and that's concerning if you're Abion. I think he'll get it done. It'll be a drip type of story, 4-3. Abion wins, but it's not by much. What do you think, Jay?
I mean, I'm looking through Abion's first round matchups here throughout this entire season. I mean, it's been 4-1 or 4-2 for the most part, whether he's on the winning or losing side. So I think there's going to be some kind of similarity here. Again, every game win's going to matter for Radin here because he's one of those players who's in that very tight battle. But I think Abion just gets the job done. I just don't know. I think the new bot is just making it where it's going to be you can't really rely on those games where you get those monstrous hands much, because that's just going to get more limited, and it's more going to come down to how well can you manage your cards in the first place. So I just have personally not seen very good card management from Brian. I know he took Drip very close to game 7 here. I have it being a 4-2 here. It's going to put him in an interesting spot here because that's going to put him at 10 wins. So we'll see how the rest of these matchups go. But again, he's on that cut line, so gonna need every game win's going to matter for Rodden when it comes to trying to stay in D1. So gonna be curious to see how that goes. This will be a matchup to watch out for, especially every single matchup, because every game win for Rodden, that's going to be big.
And for Abion, if it is Abion Lane, boy, oh boy, imagine that. That would be a ultimate playoff game. Real losers in trouble. Winner could be.
Well, that is the projection. So
we'll see. We'll see if that one happens. It'll come down to +2 control for Abion. If he gets his +2s, his beloved +2s, how does he control it? Will be the difference. Another game. Unfortunately, the 6-11 line's kind of striking out here, G. Another game. It's not streamed. The only game that's not streamed in this region. It's Pac versus Zay. I don't know how to read this one. Pac has been Pac wanted the new bot in T3. Bring it in. That's what he said. He wanted the mid T4. He said, bring that in, man. Bring that in now. Well, Pat, we can't do that. But he gets it now. Zay likes to do that rainbow colored junk. Pat Johnson is taking this one 4-3. It has to be 7. It's only fitting with Pat Johnson. Zay's season ends here. Pat Johnson wins and gets absolutely a life lesson in the next round. Let's go with that.
I'm just kind of taking notes here from how Ziemba did in his run after breaking through for his first win. He did win his first round here, so I'm going to say Mac 4-3. I believe that's what Ziemba did in his run. Let me just check that. Yes, he won 4-3, so I'm just going to lock in Mac 4-3. Gets the job done. Zay's had some positive moments this season, but overall just kind of been underwhelming. Going to need to find something different next year. Should be locked into D1 next year, though, so decent enough season to not be in danger of relegation, but needs to find a little more if he wants to look to be a contender. But we'll jump to the next one here, and this is it's going to be a return,
Yes,
and it's going to be
sir.
a fight for relegation.
Yeah, this is a life lesson here coming from Aiden Smith. Welcome to playing the world champion. We're only 3 people have been here all year.
This is a
And I'm gonna be
bad
honest,
matchup for Aiden to get when he needs game wins. Oh man.
this is just too overpowering. Ashley was one of the first testers on New Bot. I remember vividly. I was like, damn. You think Wild Control? This is one of the best players. Wild Control is even more insane with her and number efficiency. Ashley 4-0. I don't like calling sweeps, but if there is one, this is the wise. I just don't know how Aiden Smith's going to handle this. You can't dump and pump against Ashley. You can't even breathe too much. You give her one extra card, it's game. I'm going Ashley 4-0. I don't think Aiden Smith stands a chance. I'm sorry.
This is crazy also because Aiden Smith needs this badly because he's on that cut line. He's the last guy in right now, so this is a terrible draw for him to get. I'm going to go 4-1 here. I don't think he gets swept, but this is a very, very bad situation for Aiden Smith here. Ashley's kind of just more motivated after losing in the main masquerade and just having to wait a while before she gets some more action on the table. So I think Ashley's going to come back with vigor and vengeance, and I think she's really going to be someone who is going to feel like she has a point to prove here. So I think Ashley storms through this 1-4-1.
Kev Shear Stingray is a really interesting battle because Stingray is the better player in terms of Super League rank, but Kev Shear's the better seed. We saw that with Clay and Nam. Kev Shear has a style that he's clicked on it when it clicks with the +4 control. He's done a great job with +4 control only. Stingray is absolutely playing Sting. If he gets to Uno G, we'll see that first ever call out on the new bot from him. I'm going to make a prediction. He'll be the first guy to do it, or Yepez. I'm going to go with Stingray here in an upset, seed-wise, but it's not really an upset. Stingray's fighting for more. He's in the top 20. He needs this one. 4-2 Stingray. I think he takes a little bit of that March magic from the past and brings it back. What do you think?
Well, hang on a second here, because I mean we're looking through this season here. If you look at Kev's season, as far as I'm not mistaken, he's besides Aquatic April, he has made it out of this first round in every single tournament and had a round of 16 in the Jungle July here. So had a very relatively consistent season, and I mean we're talking about Stingray, who has had back-to-back first round exits. It's not really been great for Stingray. You're really looking at someone who's looking more consistency in this round for someone who is generally just kind of on a decline right now. And I unfortunately think something works for this first round with Kev, and I unfortunately think this is actually how Stingray's season ends. Give me Kev 4-2. You could maybe call it an upset, even though seed-wise it's what the projection would be, but I don't know. Something in this first round for Kev has just worked well this year. He's kind of built a bit of a platform of consistency, and I think he continues it here. I think he's kind of just been nice and steady. This has been a great improvement season so far for him, and I think he's going to continue that here to cap it off. That would put him at 5 wins, which is significantly more than he had last year.
We'll see. Kevin Stingray will be interesting. Could be a stylistic contrast as well. And speaking of the great unknown, G, Yepez M. Boy, oh boy, does this game get scheduled. Oh, God. Look, when M actually plays, I will say this, is a very good player. We saw with Golden took care of Brad. The problem is, I don't even know if I can make a prediction. I don't even know if M's going to show up. I hope she does. I'll try my best. If we actually get this game, I'll go Yepez 4-2. He has to. He's a veteran of this league. He's a legend, right? Super League World Champ. There's no way he takes the night off. He's got to take this seriously. You can't sleep well against them. M plays a lot of interesting eye candy that not a lot of people even understand. So I'm gonna say Yepez finds a way if we get this game in. What do you think, G?
I'm gonna say Yepez 4-2. I mean, I've been weird all year because she just has so many scheduling issues, but she isn't that bad of a player. So I really don't know where this is gonna go. But Yepez absolutely needs this. I'm gonna say 4-2 if this happens at all. If it doesn't, I mean, Yepez is gonna win by the DQ, but.
He don't need that. He does not.
I mean, he
need
doesn't
that.
need that. He needs this matchup to happen. So I'm gonna say Yepez 4-2. Hopefully this matchup does happen though, and we get a result.
Because if we see Yepez Sting, God Almighty, we are going to see a crackdown match. If that happens, oh my word. We'll see how that one goes too. Next region will be Brad's region. Brad once again returns. as the final player on Bye Island, a little bit less this time compared to what we had 6 or 7 last time. So the last player from Bye Island, Brad gets that spot. Who will play Brad? Well, it's a rematch, G. I can't believe we didn't stream this game again, but there's a good reason why. The last time we saw it, Art was up 3-0 and apparently was clowning around and just trying things to get a 4-2. Peter's looking really good in this new bot, but this is heat check Art round 1. Art doesn't lose round 1 usually. I think Art does the same. He does it again. Art 4-2. I can't go against Art in round 1. If it was another round, maybe, but round 1, it's round 1 Art. Give me Art. Round 1 takes care of business. What do you got, G?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Ard. I'm saying Ard 4-1 here. I mean, I think even though Onchek had the win against KT, I just have not been impressed with Onchek at all this season. I think Ard again, round 1 Ard is a thing. I mean, didn't play in tournament 4. Going to be looking for some vengeance here to try to make a late push here. Although it's going to be a very tough path, but I have Ard winning this one in a 4-1. I don't think it's going to be close at all.
This next one, G, could be a little bit of a shocker, in my opinion. I'm not going to go upset, but this is going 7. Here's why. Cap has been on Pina Colada Island since he's won April. He has not had a chance to really prove himself. We have not seen much of that 5, 6, 7 junk that he liked to did in April, too. He's been kind of laying low on that. I think it comes out in Super League. It won't come out here. He'll experiment a lot. He's one of the only guys that does it. I think England needs 3 wins, in my opinion. I think he gets those 3 wins. He'll get to 11. But Cap wins it in 7. And this is where I think he maybe breaks out a higher card start and tries some things. What do you think, G? Cap 4-3.
Here's my thing with this, because I think this is a legit clash of styles. Sam England likes running this long. Captain wants these games to end as quickly as possible. So Captain's going to run low and Sam England's going to run high. It's going to be an interesting dynamic depending on who has the home field. So the problem is, though, usually with Captain, the quicker games win out in the end. So, and Sam England has never really ran these games short. So I actually think this is a 4-0 sweep. I know it's kind of crazy, but I think Captain's going to be a little more motivated to at least have somewhat of a decent run here because his spy is at risk, and I don't think he wants to lose that completely. But 4-0, again, this is another important matchup because every game win counts for Sam England. I think he doesn't get a single one. So again, I just don't think this long style works, and I think Captain just going to the sweep. I think the shorter style absolutely beats the long style every time, and that's going to be how it plays out. But yeah, jumping to this next one here, KT, you could take it away on this one. And the interesting matchup here. It doesn't really have anything to do with relegation, but a lot on the line in terms of Super League.
It's a playoff battle. Monkey Boy, public enemy number 1 in many eyes of just trying to, I guess, reset his mind. I don't even know, man. I'm not sure what Monkey's learned over the break, but he's got to find something. Larry Huo had the loss to you. Plays a dynamic style on pretty much ammo, right? Just tries to get ammo, a little split, but also tries to go a little bit more robust when needed. I can't see Monkey not having an issue in this round, though. I think he will. That's why he goes 7. I'm going to go Monkey 4-3, but man, this is probably my least confident prediction. I don't know where his head's going to be at. If it's there, I think he wins, but if Larry Huo has a chance to sniff it, you never know. But I'm going to go Monkey 4-3 in a barely escape Game 7 where he needs this one, where we'll have a chance against Cap to prove himself. What do you think, G?
I'm sorry. I'm going Laura 4-3. The problem is Monkey has shown in the past this is not his tournament. I mean, he was up like 3-1 in this tournament last year and gave the random motivational pep talk and blew it. I think he needs to make sure. I think he just needs to keep his mouth shut and just try to get the job done. But unfortunately, I think the problem is that the mentality's shattered after that Show Go July performance. That was absolutely terrible, and he knows it. And I don't think we've seen great mentality from Monkey historically, and I think he's just going to be in that kind of doomer scenario, especially if it gets to 7. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in Monkey here, unfortunately. I think Laura is going to get some redemption here and get another win on the season. 4-3, I think. 4-3. I don't know if I said the game thing, but I'm thinking 4-3.
This is going to be interesting, G. If Lara does win, it's 4 wins. It's a good win. Maybe he has a chance to prove to Cap. Could be one of those sleepers. You never know. We'll see how that one goes if that has happened. Well, unfortunately, G, we've been saying Caesar needs a good win. This would not be it. This would just, you got to get through here. It's round 1 Caesar versus the Endurance Chess Master of Dark. Interestingly enough, Dark made in the lead 8 in T5 last year. Coming in at 2-4. Same exact record here, but it's a different story. This is round 1 Caesar. Caesar sometimes will make mistakes in round 1, but this is the new bot. He's had the most experience on other than myself, really. Can't see Caesar on basically his playground losing this one, especially with the big fish out there. Give me Caesar 4-2. Too much motivation. Dark's going to have to rethink about some things in the off season. What do you think, G?
Caesar 4-1. I'm not even going to think about this much. The problem is this is not a good win for Caesar, and that's exactly why he's going to win. It's really these bigger wins that he needs where it's a bit of a problem. So I think he makes it through his first round. It's really the second round that's going to be interesting here, depending on how this next matchup goes.
Well, this next matchup is a March rematch. These guys are boys. Eli, Austin, Rogers. These guys are boys and homies. I think someone's going to have to draw the line here. Eli's played a lot more. Eli plays a lot more technical style than people think they give him credit for. Rogers, I'm not sure. Sometimes he can play split ammo. Sometimes he can play number efficiency. Sometimes he goes toaster mode. I think Eli's going to win this game. I know there's been concerns of him being inactive a little bit in the last 12 days. Hopefully it's just college stuff. If he shows up and there's no DQ, Eli wins. That would be a detrimental way to lose it. But I'll go Eli 4-2. He'll find a way. I think Rogers will give him a challenge because he has seen Eli's style in the past. What do you think, G?
I'm thinking about this because Rogers is one of those guys who's on the cut line, and we've seen Rogers be able to turn it on. But the problem is, it's just like, will it happen or not? And Eli just came off a great run. I don't know if it's a hard one to say, but I feel like the problem is we are going to get some of these lower seed upsets at some point, and I feel like at this point you just got to throw one in at this point. This isn't necessarily a detriment on Eli because I still think he makes the field, but something's telling me Rogers finally finds something here, wins it 4-3, finally gets the job done, which directly leads into a disaster situation for Caesar where he's just going to make the round of 16 with no good wins. So I don't know. I just think something's telling me Rogers is going to find something here, and I think Eli might be a bit off the gas. I mean, you did say he doesn't really care about the bye, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I just think Rogers is going to find something here that we haven't really seen since April.
That'd be something. What a way to do it if he does figure it out. Saves his D1 hopes, and we think he could be relatively safe anyway with 3 wins. But if he saves it officially and then gets an upset on his buddy, that'd be something. Well, gee, just like your ALP narrative, he's going to make this. I'm always going to be on my boy Cody Lamas. I don't care. Cody Lamas could be in the abyss. I'll still vote for my boy Cody. New bot. He's had one of the more experienced lessons on this bot. Varigold's back in college. I don't know. He got his 2 wins. This is where T5 last year just kind of checked out due to college. I'm just not going to go against Cody Lamas, man, ever. Unless it's against me, where we're just going to call a fair fight. Cody Lamas. 4-3. He figures it out. He wins the game 7. Does a little Florida Panthers-esque, goes for it. Give me Cody 4-3. I know you're going with the upset, but I don't care. That's my boy.
You're wrong, actually. I'm going with Lamas 4-2, but it's not because I have faith in Cody. I just think Gold's completely checked out. He did what he needed to do to stay safe in D1, and at this point, I think he knows the season's a lost cause. I think he's completely checked out at this point, especially with college. I think Lamas wins 4-2. I still don't have a lot of faith in him. I don't think this run lasts very long. I think his season's been over since he lost in Tournament 4, but yeah, we'll see how this matchup plays out, but it's a terrible, terrible season for both these players, in my opinion. Even though Lamas had the KT win, it's just been a complete disaster besides the Aquatic April.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, there you go, G. Guarantee one guy won't make Super League from last year right there. That's guaranteed right there. This next one, will the game happen? It will. I think Eric will play. He showed against JT. I'm going to say this right. Eric was very good in testing. He took care of me 4-1. I know it was late at night, but he did say the bulk card is something I like about this bot. And for that reason, I'm going with the shocker, G. I'm going with the absolute shocker. Ghost wins, but it goes 7. That's a shocker. Because no one even thinks Eric Monaco has a chance in this league. I think Eric's going to find some with those bold cards. Those bold cards make a difference where he can see. And he even admitted before that, I didn't even know what card to play because they're not colored. So maybe he was just smoked out on the card coloring. This could be a little bit of a preview here. I think Ghost will win 4-3. He's really good in these cupcake games, but I think Ghost actually has to say, you know what? Let's be a little bit different this time. Remember, sneak attack is gone. It's pretty much gone. It doesn't exist anymore unless you're an idiot with the privatized table. So it does affect his game a little bit. It's going to take a little bit for him to get used to it. I'm going to go Eric Monaco gets to the 7, but Ghost figures it out in 7. What do you think?
I think the problem for Monaco is Ghost plays a style that's going to rattle him very easily, and I think that's going to be what ends up setting the pace for this. I think Ghost wins this 4-1. I think that pace is just going to get Monaco too frenzied out of it, and it's going to be a problem because I think Monaco's one of those players who could easily just get outplayed, and I think that's just going to be that's the style that Ghost has. So I think he gets frazzled early on, and it's just going to be a quick 4-1 for Ghost. Not much to consider there, unfortunately.
We'll see. We'll see. It could be interesting. Let's see if Eric was telling the truth about those bold cards. I'm banking on that. We'll see. This next match, will be Anam's region. He was the last one seed in the Neptune region. That was the Jupiter region, the big planet. Now we go to probably the prettiest planet in the solar system, in my opinion. Neptune, definitely for sure. Nam and Clint. Oh boy. Could be a great match to stream. Clint's gonna rip a couple hollies for sure. One last time for the boys.
No.
If you want.
Oh no.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. We're gonna rip some greens too. And for that reason, give me Nam 4-0. Clint is going to be absolutely smoked out one last time for the boys. Get sauced. And I'm going to go Nam. He needs to get this win more. Clint, always a legend in D1. You always will be on that green 0, buddy. Have fun D2. That's my prediction.
Okay, but what if Clint wins though? Like,
congratulations to Clint.
I don't think that's I don't think this is something. I'm not picking Clint, but I don't think that's something we can immediately throw out here. I think out of all the opponents he could have gotten, I think Nom's on the higher end of people who maybe he has a better shot against, but we'll see how that goes. I'm still thinking Nom takes care of this 4-1. Not really much to say, but I'm curious how this ends up playing out. But Clint's the only 16th seed here.
If Clint would have played me, because that was the projections, yeah, I think he could have won that game. Because he gives me a hard time for whatever reason, but it's not me, so I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Clint is another guy that said bold cards help him. So if he stays sober, maybe. But the problem with Clint is he going to stay sober? We don't know. That's the $1 million cue with Clint. Next match though, this was a little bit of a kind of a foreshadow. William, Brock, Nick. I mean, this is kind of funny. You had both these guys high at the beginning, so you were thinking Nick would make the Super League field. He had that unfortunate bot hosing and whatever that was in Game 7 against Lane. And then Brock is, when's he going to turn up? I know you. I am a William Brock fan. I really am. But something tells me Nick, after what happened to him in Game 7, is going to find a way, and he'll get this 1-7. I think he gets redemption. Nick is a guy that I can see plays a little bit more cleaner on this new bot. Brock, we've seen a little bit cleaner on the new bot as well, but not as clean as Nick. I think it's going to come down to ammo control and a power play. Give me Nick in a power play Game 7 moment. Figures it out. Upset City. Not by much,
though. Yeah, I'm going to be honest here. I think Brock makes some sort of run here to make it in. So, sorry. Throat's getting tight, but I think Brock's going to win this 4-2. I think Nick, at the start of the year, I just wanted to throw one of these random rookies I didn't really know much about into the field because I felt like there was going to be something like that. And I think we did get something like that, but I kind of whiffed on that. I think for Nick, just focus on next season, try to figure out something there, and go from there. I just think William Brock is going to have a bit more motivation here. And again, I think Brock is hiding something. I've been very disappointed by him all year, but I'm going to put my faith in him that something's going to happen here, and he's going to pull out a run to make one last dash to get into the top 15.
It would be a hell of a dash for Brock if he can do it. Gee, this next match, boy, oh boy, this is a big one, right? You would think, oh, it's a 4-13. Well, this is a huge one. Yoshi fighting for his life. H, we think is safe, but not 100% safe in D1. We saw what he did against KT last year, where it was insane. Took me to 7. I think Lightning will strike twice this time, and I think he pulls through. I'm going upset. I think H has, on this new bot, a tech guy. I think he finds something, man. I think he does. I've seen this guy in T5 before. He's dangerous, and you cannot give him a spark. You give him a little spark, he'll knock it out of the park. Give me H and 7. A lot of games are going 7 here because they're just too close to call. I think H has found something in his new bot. He's definitely played well, even in test sessions. I'm going H, upset. What do you think, G?
I actually agree. I'm saying H4-2 here. I think just something's not clicking for Yoshi, and unfortunately that may masquerade everyone's going to be a major what if. H hasn't been needing something like this all season. He's going to finally get it. So H wins at 4-2, maybe builds up a late run at the end of the year. I mean, this was the tournament he debuted in last year, and he had a phenomenal performance, and his second round matchup there. Pretty much took care of business in the first round, then very nearly took you out. So I think this is the tournament where H kind of finds something to build on for next year, and we'll see what ends up happening with it. But I have some faith in H here. Maybe we could get out of this pod here. I think with how this pod is shaped, this is actually a favorable pod to maybe escape from.
Well, and the reason why it could be favorable, G, is, man, what has happened to Vapor? I mean, had 4 reverses against Pack and a Wild and somehow got reverse swept, but Acosta blew a 3-1. I mean, they both have blown leads in the last tournament. I think Vapor's tested more in his new bot, so I'm going to go Vapor. It's going to be a good battle right here. I think Vapor will find a way to get the job done. I think I'll go 4-1. I think this is the one match where I can just say Vapor he's more motivated. And you got to think, Acosta's a drawn-out guy. He plays more of an England style. I'm not sure if that's going to work against Vapor, who plays that rapid. It could be a Cap England, too. Very similar. Non-stream as well. What do you think?
I think Vapor wins 4-3. You got to remember this is Acosta. All these games usually go 7. So I'm going to be real. It's just kind of how the season's currently gone for Acosta. I mean, he got that win, but that's really what's saving him. Otherwise, it's just kind of been the same song, different verse as last year. So really needs to find something different here for Acosta because he did get that win, so that's important. But this is just not sustainable to be staying in this division long term. He's going to probably escape this year, but next year, especially with some of these D2 players coming up, I think there's going to be a lot more competition at the bottom next year. So I don't think he's going to be able to get away with this next year. So he's got to really find something in the offseason.
Yeah, no, with next year coming in, it could very well be 2 or 3 wins is just enough in, right? It's crazy. But next one, Jay, it's the Creator versus Drip Drop. Look, a lot of people have said this is MGR's bot. Why would he not win round 1? I was one of those guys. I did say he can make a run. I'm very concerned for Drip, though, man. He's got a restaurant opening on September 1st. I don't even know if he's going to have time to get this game. That's a problem. If this game happens, I think he wins, but, man, I'm not confident in this game. I'll go Drip. He hasn't even tested on. They only did, 3 games, I think. And they weren't even the best games back in June. MGR has the most experience on this thing. I'll go Drip if he plays, but it wouldn't shock me if MGR wins 4-3. I'll go Drip 4-3 if he plays, but, man, low confidence here. What do you think, G?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of people are overvaluing MGR here. Obviously, made the pot. Very appreciative of that. I think the problem is a lot of the issues with his gameplay are more fundamental and not necessarily bot specific. So I think he's going to have to play on this bot a lot to try to fix the fundamentals rather than what's going on with the bot here. I think Drip has better fundamentals in general. I'm going to say 4-2 here. I think MGR is so strong. I think he does win the first 2 games, but I think Drip kind of just runs away with it at the end. But yeah, Drip's on a fight for his life. MGR, he technically is in this relegation battle, but he's one of those 2 people that I think a lot of people are saying are safe unless an absolute meltdown happens. But we'll have to see. I mean, based off these predictions so far, that's likely not to happen, but you never know because I don't think in the history of us doing this we've ever gotten like 75% or more of these correct in a single swing of it. So there's definitely going to be some predictions that we're like, oh, this is like for sure going to happen. It just doesn't happen. So we'll see how this plays out.
When the first round is just cracked out, you never know. New bye, you have no idea what to expect for sure. And speaking, we don't have no idea. JT Zach, well, this is going to be a hurry-up match. We kind of got to get this in pretty early. I think JT is very distracted right now. He's got a wedding coming up. Zach needs a win. I think JT wins 4-2, man, but I'm not confident that he plays round 2. It's going to be very nip and tuck. I'm going to go JT figures it out in round 1, but, man, I have no confidence. This could be a match of just Zach is going to play OG. JT can't rely on that crazy card luck, man. That's my concern with JT. I think he can get away with it in round 1, but after it's going to be hard. I think JT is going to have to really find something in round 1 to use for Super League because he should make it at 9 wins right there. But I'll go JT. What's your thoughts here, G?
This is another important matchup. I think Turner's going to win this, though. I think he's going to be motivated to try to get as many wins as he can before eventually he's going to have a bit of a falling out with this guy. I think there's a legit possibility Turner could DQ in these later rounds if he makes it there. But it's really about these first few rounds for him to get it done. That's what it counts. The question is, what's the game score going to be? Because Zach is another one of these players where this game score, where the amount of games he wins is going to be very influential on where he ends up. But I haven't been impressed all season, but I don't know. I feel like there's going to be someone here that just kind of jumps out of nowhere from us. I think Zach wins 4-3. I actually do think that's going to be enough to save him from the relegation talk, but we'll see how it goes for him. But I think Turner's going
Is
to
it
win this.
Zach
I don't
or
think
JT? Yeah, JT.
JT wins 4-3, but I think Zach's going to do enough to save himself from the bottom 12,
All right,
but
that
just
sounds like
barely, just barely.
that sounds like a good prediction. You just never know, right? That's why I'm not going off the CPU prediction. You never know with the spot, man. It's new, it's fresh. We got to see what the card luck is and how it all plays out. This next one, G, is another non. I have no idea on this match. I have all the there's always one. I have no idea. Myth plays Plan A. Insane card luck. Brian. There are times where he looks great, and there are times where I don't know what he's doing. I'm just gonna flip a coin. Let me flip a coin right now. Hold on. All right, and land on tails. So I'm gonna go mid 4-3. Usually tails never fails. That's the home team. I'll go mid 4-3, but I would not be shocked at Brian. He should have beat Nam earlier in the year. He should have beat Ghost. Really, I mean, he had all the cards and just kind of choked it away. I think Myth has a little more to play for to get that 5th win and then set up a possible welcome to the league moment in the next round. So, well, let's go with that. I'll go Myth 4-3. What do you think, G?
I think Myth wins 4-1. I think his style is just going to kind of like come out here, except maybe a little less. But I think the problem is both these players kind of have issues on the table. But Brian had a decent showing in the last 2 tournaments, so who knows? Maybe he'll pull something that we haven't seen before. But I don't know. I just have more faith in Myth right now. I think he has that at least that run to show it off. Ryan has just kind of been wandering around for the most part while he's been in this league. So I'm just going to say Myth 4-1 and just move on.
On this last match, you remember in the last episode when you said you think Leah's got a chance? Yeah, no. Charles Sanford, 100-time winner, is coming through the door. Sanford 4-0. This is Charles Sanford pissed off about what happened. He's already said, I didn't want to play Monaco. I didn't want to play Payne. I didn't want to play M. We gave him Leah. Leah will show up to the game. Unfortunately, this is a funeral. Charles Sanford is pissed. He's ticked off. He's out for blood. He'll get to 103 career wins in the regular season. The first guy to do it. I'm not going against Sam, man. No shot. 4-0. Charles Sanford. What do you got, G?
I don't know if it's going to be a sweep because I mean we've seen Leah put up a fight against some of these top level players in the past. I mean they went 4-2, went the 6 with Yepes in March, and then also what's it called? I know their April result wasn't bad. Yeah, you went 6 with DJ also. So I think they're going to put up a solid fight. Unfortunately I think it's going to be kind of the same verse here with the going 6. I think it's going to be 4-2 here. I think Leah puts up a good fight. I think that's just kind of been how it is all season, but she's going to have to find something here in this relegation tournament, otherwise it's going to be over for her. But with where she is, I think she's only going to play that win, only have to fight through that one match here in the final round. So we'll see what she does. I think she's going to be in that relegation tournament, but she might have a shot to keep her D1 spot for next year. But we'll just have to see. Sanford has a lot more to play for, though, and I think he just gets the job done.
One thing I will say though, if Leah does take it 4-2, that could be a good stepping stone. It could, because if you can play Sanford close and tight, you might be able to learn some things for that relegation tournament. He does have a knack. I mean, I think everybody that's lost him has finished 4th, or everybody that's beat him has finished 4th this year. I think everybody he's beaten this year has found something in the previous round. So there's a chance. There's a chance actually that maybe Leah will stay in D1 because Sanford is willing to give out those tips. He's just one of those guys in a match you can learn from. It's not going to be similar. Let's say, I don't know, Brad. It's hard to learn from Brad or a KT who are very tight-lipped. Sanford is a guy that will, despite being a veteran of this league, can find something. All right, we go now to the next topic. G, obviously that's our predictions and preview here. Let's go to the next topic, which will be, let's pull it up here to make sure, the bubble talk. So now, the bubble talk is, when we think about this, we got to think about this 2 ways. There's relegation, and then there's the direct bubble talk. We both said in the last episode, everybody 1st through 10th is going to be good, right? We all think 1st through 10th, everyone's going to be good. Now, I had some Super League percentages. Take that with a grain of salt. The first guy in the bubble was Lane. Let's say we get Lane Albion, we get that playoff match right. Are you confident more in Lane in his new insane style that seems to be working, or Albion with +2 control? If we theoretically happen, those are 2 guys we can package together. Who are you more confident in, Lane or Albion, to make Super? I know you said Albion can be bounced, but if those are the 2 to play, you're confident in Lane or Albion if it happens?
I think I have more confidence in Lane here, and I think it's just about the momentum here. I think he's kind of built himself slowly over the season and just had a big burst of energy in the Jungle July. Bobbian's more or less just kind of been consistent on the lower end here. I mean, had a good start to the year, but it's kind of just fizzled out a little bit since then. I mean, if we're looking at the brackets here, I don't think he's necessarily had a run back to the round of 8. No, he has not, because he had round of 8 in March, going on the first round in April, round of 16 in May, and then round of 32 in July. So kind of just been a bit more spread. For Lane, on the other hand, though, started out with a 4-0 loss in March, so started rock bottom. Got a win in April, beat Clay, so round of 32. Made another round of 32 in May, but with a more impressive performance, in my opinion, against Tapir, and then just had a burst onto the scene in Jungle July, and that's really where the turning point was for what type of style Lane wanted to bring. So, in my opinion, I think someone who's bursting on the scene, really making that late season push, I have a little more faith in that. So I'm going to go with Lane Sanders in that one if that does happen.
Well, that's interesting because I agree, because I think Abian is a guy that I did say would be the last guy in. There's a reason why, because I kind of foreshadow I think Allen could beat Seth and he gets saved there. But Abian's got to do something really special, I think, to win this game, if it is indeed him and Lane. I don't know. Insane Lane train has just been something better, and I think Lane gets that win. It's automatically he's locked. So I think it'll be a good match if it happens. +2 control versus that new ammo control of Lane will be fun to watch. Now the 12th place guy is Ghost. Where's his path? You got to look at Cody Varigold. Okay, if it's Varigold and somehow pulls the upset, then yes, I think Ghost might be in trouble. But with Cody, as much as I love Cody, he's my boy. It's a fragile style that I think Cody could actually give Ghost troubling. It could go 7. The next round, it has to happen, though. So I think the only way Ghost is in trouble is if Cody somehow figures out that sneak attack style, it's gone. He figures out something going. I think Ghost is going to figure it out, though, against Eric. And to be honest with you, G, if he gets 8 wins on the season, and if he even loses to Varigold or Lamas, it's going to be hard to deny him a spot because it's just more, I guess you could say, a better version of what Nam has of quantity over quality due to the Ashley win. I think Ghost is in a good spot. I can't see him missing out. What do you think? You agree? No matter what happens in round 2?
I kind of agree, yeah. I just don't have faith in the person who wins that match to beat Ghost here. I think Ghost is kind of on a bit of a burner here, and I think he's kind of staying consistent here. I think Ghost is going to make the round of 16, and whether he goes past that, I'm not really sure. I'm going to say potential. No, it depends. Actually, it depends on who he faces, but yeah, I think he's going to just stay around that 10-12 area and just be into Super League in the middle of the pack here. So that's my personal opinion on that, but yeah.
The next guy will be an interesting spot. DJ versus Logan will be his first round. Let's say DJ gets by. We both think Retro will get. Does DJ make Super League off the fact that Retro, is that enough, right? Logan will be a quad 4. Retro will be a quad 4. Is that enough for DJ to get by 8 wins? Remember, he does have a DQ and a missed tournament. Do you think he needs more? Do you think he needs to get to the Sweet 16, or do you think 8's enough from him? I think Sweet 16. What do you think of DJ's outlook?
I think he needs to make the Sweet 16 here. Even if their no wins are not great, I think if he just makes a Sweet 16, that'll be good enough for him. Again, we'll have to see how this plays out for him, but I think a very doable path for him. Again, missed that tournament before, so a bit of a disadvantage there. But again, this is a favorable pod for him, even if Carson wins this. So I would have faith that he could get the job done here, and especially if he makes it out of the pod here, and like someone like LaPlante he goes up against, that could be a potential round of 8 run there. So I think that would be good enough to make it in. We'll just have to see what DJ brings to the table here, but he definitely does need to make it out of this pod, though, in my opinion, to make it.
DJ Curtis will be on it. Definitely a burner here. See if he can find something. And the last guy is Seth. Obviously, we both already have split opinions on round 1. Let's just say your opinion wins out. I'll be the nice guy. Let's say he wins. Tough match with Chomik. That's a tough draw. That's what I'm worried about, G. Even if he gets past, do you think he's got enough for Chomik? That's really what's going to come down to for him. What do you think?
I mean, I think that's really just going to be a game of whether he can prove himself there, because Chomik's fighting for his bye here, and Seth's fighting for his life, so I think whoever makes it out of this region is really going to be making a statement for themselves in terms of what they can bring to the table here, whether it be Seth, who's looking to make Super League, Chomik, who's looking for a bye, or even someone like Allen, or maybe even James Ellison if he somehow finds a way. looking towards potentially next season, or maybe even just pulls out a incredible run at the end of the year to just magically win the tournament and lock it, steal a bid. But um, yeah, I think in general you kind of look at this and. Overall, I would consider it being for Seth. I think Seth's focus here is just get through this pod because I think he has a strong pod in general, and if he can get through it, I think he's more than proved himself to be in the field. I think if he makes the round of 16, he's in no matter what happens.
And now we start to look at the guys that will go for the first 5, and then we'll call it a night. Yepez, look, I've been high on him. I said he's going to make the field, and here's why. I think he gets by M, whether it be DQ or regular win.
Hopefully not DQ.
Hopefully not DQ. I think he gets by Kev. If it's Sting, I think it'll go 7. It's going to be a cracked out match. And the reason why I think he gets through G is I think at that point, Ashley will say, you know what? What is the point of me going? That'll be a 12-win season for her. I don't think she's going to go crazy at that point. I think she would already be a double bye, be a world champ on bat, but why show the world champion cards? I think she'd be smart enough to lay up here. I think for that reason, Yepez gets through. He won't win the tournament, but he gets to the Elite Eight. And for that reason, in my opinion, that's enough to get him in. He didn't have an Ashley and Brad win. He would then do the numbers and say, that's it. I think that's why Yepez has a chance to move in. I know the Super League guys have been out the lunch all season. They sucked. Okay, I'm not even going to beat around the bush, including myself. We've all just collectively sucked. I understand. But we at least have 2 new guys that have a chance that are old guys from the past. I'm going to stick with it. I trust the old veterans. What do you think about Yepez? You had him out, though.
I mean, I did have him out here, but I think the thing is, I don't know if he makes the round of 16. I'm not sure if that's going to be good enough because those are not great wins, and he's kind of struggling on the win column here. Besides that Brad win, he needs something here. He needs a win by some sort of means. And I mean, if we're looking at this bracket here, I'm not really sure where this win's going to come from. Because, I mean, we look at this, Yepez, Sting, I think he needs Stingray to beat Kev. I really think that's what he needs, because if he beats Stingray, I think that's going to be enough to push him in. If he beats Kev, though, I think he needs that round of 16 victory, or at least make it close, because I don't know. I don't know if a Kev and an M win are going to be enough to push him in, even though it's 2 extra wins, because he's been really more on the quad 4, quad 3 side of things this year.
Right.
So I think he needs a good win here, and I think he's obviously trying to get through this first game here. Can't underestimate M, but assuming that matchup happens. If a matchup happens, it's even a worse situation. But I think he's going to also be watching this other matchup, this pod. I think he's going to be rooting for Sting right here because I think that's going to be better for him win-wise if he can get that matchup.
He wants Stingray and Ashley. The last thing he needs is a Pat Johnson to pull a vapor, right? And he just gets the reverse. Ashley loses the Pat, just taking the night off. Because that's the thing, G. At a certain point, if you feel you're double locked, blocked in double by an island, well, what's the point of sending it? I think you don't have to send it crazy. And then this next person we know will send it. I'm gonna be honest with you, he's gonna be pissed off because this is a nightmare for Sanford, and here's why. Aaliyah win, great, get through it. Myth or Brian, he needs Myth, but in my opinion, even with the Myth win, that ain't enough. JT's got problems with the wedding. Drip is inconsistent. This is a nightmare for Sanford, and for that reason, I believe he needs to get to the Elite Eight, and he better hope Nam is on the other side. You don't want to be in Region 4. The big names are going to fall. There's not many out there. Sanford is going to have to make a Final Four to get in the Super League. I think he will, and I think it's because he's going to have a similar run to Nam, where the names aren't going to be good enough. Maybe Myth, right? That could be enough. If JT is just not there...
Yeah, well, Myth is a top 25 win. Myth is a top 25 win, so that will help.
It will help, but he needs JT there, and the problem is, do we think JT will play out the round? Too many question marks with JT. If he's not there, I know it's a rematch, it'll be good. If JT's there, he doesn't need to make a Final Four. He'll start playing experimental ball. But if he's not there, I think he has to get to the Final Four, because Nam's not guaranteed to be there either. At a certain point, he might say, that's enough too. That's the risk with T5, and Sanford knows that better well. I think he's got enough in tank, though. It's Charles Sanford, new bot. He locks in. What do you think, G?
This is a tough one because, I mean, you think you could make a round of 16, but, this is not an easy path to get the wins you need. I mean, he needs Turner in that round of 16. I think Drip would suffice also if he gets Myth, but, I mean, if he gets Leah, Ryan, and then, one of either MG or Zach, that's an absolute disaster because those are not wins that are going to help on the resume, and I think that's really what he needs most, so... Needs to find something here on the win column because I don't think the quantity over quality here is going to help him out, but... Again, we'll have to see. It just depends on how everyone else does. I mean, if Seth, Curtis, all these other people on the bubble have an early fallout, maybe he could just escape with some mediocre wins. But I don't know. I think really Sanford's trying to run his own race here, and I think he's going to need to have a good race on this one.
Next guy up will be Yoshi G. This is a nightmare for him. You don't need this. I mean, let's say he does get past 8. That's a quad 4. Vapor, he's not even in the top 30. I think he's outside. Right? That's not good enough. Then you got to hope Nam is still. If his Nam's not in there, he might have to make a final 4 because. And the problem for G, if it's Sanford Yoshi, this would be the exact scenario in T3 or last year or something like that, where Yoshi made his one Elite Eight appearance. It was against Sanford, and Sanford cooked him 5-0. I mean, I know he's gotten a little better, but I think he's the biggest loser out of the. He needed some good win. But do we trust Nam to make a run? He has to hope Nam is on the other side, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Nam is on shaky ground sometimes where he may say, you know what, I have 12 wins. They're not going to keep me out of it. I'm done. Right? And remember, Nam kind of needed Yoshi in the last tournament to make the win and help his resume. I don't think Nam forgot that. I think Yoshi's in trouble. Unfortunately. Even if he gets past HG, I think the wins aren't there. Do you agree?
Yeah, I kind of agree here. I think he's really going to have to be relying on some of these other people to have early exits here. He wants to escape with this path here, especially with a tough round 1. That's not even going to amount to much in terms of the quads. But yeah, we're going to have to see. Yoshi's going to have to take advantage of this pod to go far, and you're going to probably have to rely on some other people getting out early. So I think that's really going to be the best case scenario for Yoshi if he can get that. But if not, he's really going to have to make a deep run here if a lot of these other bubble players do well.
Next guy up, final 2 guys we'll talk about. Next guy up is Monkey Boy. Let's say he gets pie. Oh, man. Gee, he has the most golden opportunity out of everybody. This is the path you need. A tournament winner and captain. Possibly Brad, assuming Brad gets by heat check or on Jack. This is it. This is the spot you want. This is the pad right here. I think Monkey's in the best spot, G. If he just can buckle down and figure it out, he's going to have 2 tournament winners on his resume. He's in the perfect spot. You can't ask for much more. You want to be in Region 3 or 1, in my opinion. I think good things are ahead for Monkey in terms of the path. The problem is he going to get there? I don't see it.
I think the problem.
Even if he gets by,
I'm going to jump in also.
Monkey. Yeah,
I think the problem is, can he even get these wins here? Because I really think his resume has been shaky. He's not really gotten any amazing wins this season so far, so he's going to have to pull up big on this one. I just don't have the confidence in that based off what I've seen.
That's my problem. If he does get past Lara, if Cap even at 50% play, I think he's still better than Monkey. Right, so it's going to come down to if Monkey can buckle down, and you kind of almost wish you were in this spot though, because this is the perfect spot to be in. You have 2 tournament winners in the same region. I believe that's the same thing in Region 1. 2 tournament. You want to be in Region 1 or 3. You don't want to be in Region 2 or 4. Right. So realistically, the last guy is Stingray. The difference for Sting is he's in a great spot too because he's on the bottom end of it. Okay, you got to win on Kev. Okay, then you got your pets. That's good. Then you got Ashley lurking. I think Stingray's in a good spot. Problem is, I don't know if he can get past your pets. That's the problem. I don't know if Sting has got that arsenal to say I'm just gonna nail it out of the park. I don't know. He hasn't looked the same since T2. What do you think about Sting, G? Does he have a chance, or are we just blowing steam?
He needs to find something very quickly because these last 2 tournaments have been very bad from him. Because this is a 3 strikes you're out situation because he needs to win this first round matchup, and he's going up against Kev, who's been very consistently good in this round. So I don't know. This is I think this first round matchup in specific is tougher than a lot of people are going to think. But even if he gets past it, I mean, Yepes is going to be challenging. Yepes is absolutely motivated to get a deep run here, and I think for Yepes, he's been on a roll, and Stingray's kind of just been stuck in the mud. So I don't know. I think he has an opportunity path, but can he take the opportunity is a real question. In my opinion, I just don't see enough to stay where he can.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting run. Now, G, one last thing. Somebody outside top 20 you think can make a run? Who do you got? Just one person. Give me a
Well,
name.
I mean, I talked about this last episode, but William Brock, I'm going to be honest. That's where I'm putting my chips in if I have to make a run for someone outside the top 20 because I think he has a favorable path here. I mean, Nick round one, I mean, that's going to maybe be a toss up, but then you also have Nam round two. Definitely gives us an opportunity for get some good wins there. And you have like a bit of a questionable pod here to this round of 16. I mean, Vapor, Costa, H, Yoshi. I mean, you could get any one of those four, maybe make something good out of that. Again, you say this fourth region is not the spot you want to be in, but the problem is for Brock, he's one of those lower seeds, so he wants to be in this spot because a lot of these upper seed players might lose. So might have a good chance to make a good run here in this Neptune region. I think I would keep an eye out on Brock here, as I said before in the prior episode.
Yeah, William Brock for sure. I'm gonna go Clay. I think T5 Magic could strike. I think he's in a good spot as well because you think about Clay. If he does get by G, it's Tygo lurking. There could be Elaine or Abion lurking on the other side. Ashley could be lurking. Clay's in a good spot as well. I think he could be someone that has that magic. And the crazy part is, I think the winner of that game, I'm gonna make a bold take, could make a Final Four. There's a chance, assuming that Tygo is just gonna be, he's gonna be pissed off on Bot Island. There's a chance that winner could actually make a Final Four, at least in the Elite Eight. We gotta watch Clay. I think Clay could be someone to watch. He's got the triple eights going, plus the 8 seed. It could be some magic in numerology. I guess some notables too. Obviously, we always gotta watch Caesar. He check guard. I mean, if he check guard gets by Peter, he could have Brad or Cap. Maybe, but the problem for check guard, he's so far back, he's got to go out there and win the tournament. So those are my notables, Jay. It's going to be interesting. Give me a crazy tournament. I think every game with 7 is not streamed. It would have been actually 6 if Allen's situation had been resolved, and I think if we hadn't overlooked Peter and Ard being a bad rematch. So it would have been 5, but we do have 7 games non-streamed. 22 are streamed. That's a record for the league. It is going to get intense. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Looking forward to the tournament. We'll see what happens. A lot of storylines going into this. We'll see which ones play out well, and we'll see which ones end up in heartbreak. So that's kind of just how the tournament 5 goes.
Welcome to T5. We'll also have the relegation tournament going. We'll announce that probably in the next episode. We're looking to plan that after the Sweet 16 with a little more downtime. For all of us here at Uno, I want to thank G, myself, for doing all. We recorded on the same day, by the way, double back. So you get both of those episodes. We'll get the Super League one out pretty shortly. Hoping for that on a Thursday, which will be tomorrow, and then the T5 one sometime over the weekend. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, our home-based YouTube. Leave us a like, review. Let us know who's going to be in the Super League field. Let us know who's going to win T5. Will it be a bubble burster? Who's going to come out of nowhere? We'll find out soon. In space, September. It's time to get out of space and have some fun. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you again for next episode.